How do we overcome global crisis and a future where we are coerced to worship the image of the beast under penalty of death? Daniel chapter 3 is a parallel to Revelation 13. There's a crisis in Daniel chapter 3, which foreshadows a final conflict described in Revelation 13, where there will be global power combined with religious coercion, a compulsion to bow down to the image, such as in Daniel chapter 3, or the mark of the beast in Revelation chapter 13, representing a final conflict between God's laws and state-enforced idolatrous authority, and the hubris of power, images made of gold, suggesting rebellion against God's plan, indicating end-time human powers will try to make their systems last forever and demand absolute allegiance. When we look to Daniel chapter 3, we know that Daniel survived a lion's den. We know that he survived a fiery furnace with his friends, and that King Nebuchadnezzar decided to build an image entirely of gold, that he wanted everyone in his kingdom to fall down and worship. But Daniel and his friends refused. They saw increased tribulation. They stood for the truth. They refused to bow to the king's ideas, to his golden image. They declared that God could deliver them, that they would trust in him even if he didn't. Daniel worshipped God only. He saw what King Nebuchadnezzar decreed, and he failed the king's decree because he worshipped only God. He stood up during the accusation. He saw the plots against his life and against his friend's life, and they all refused to worship an image that was made of gold. God promised to protect Daniel, and he was able to deliver them. Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep you away." Isaiah chapter 43 verse 2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." If we think about the struggles that we have in the modern day world, such as financial hardships, health issues, or emotional crisis, God is offering us hope through the fire. He is the fourth man in the fire. He promises he will be with us through the waters, the deep waters of life, the inevitable parts of life that we don't understand. He promises that he will be with us. The promise of his presence is not just relief from the situation, it's a promise of peace. And that life trials may arise, God promises that the difficulties will not drown us or consume us. He's protecting us in the fire without burning us, without allowing us to be burned. This is a promise of preservation during intense trials or persecution. Just as Paul faced persecution of the Jews in Acts 26, and he was brought before Festus and Caesar, but he was able to share his testimony. The parallels of Daniel and Revelation are found in Revelation 13:15. "And he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell, or save he that has the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast." Daniel chapter 3 shows us the command to worship in Revelation, and also how the accuser will accuse the believers, the plots against the believers, and what will happen if they refuse to worship the image of the beast. But God promises to protect those who follow what he says in Scripture. that he is the fourth man in the fire. He will provide deliverance. And he will bless the faith of those who know that he is in charge. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego overcame by prioritizing devotion over survival. They saw divine protection. They refused to compromise. They absolutely trusted in God. They believed that God was able to save them, and they were committed to him regardless of the outcome. They remained courageous during trials. They trusted in God's presence in the fire. It didn't prevent the trial, but they entered the fire knowing that they were being protected. There was also a staunch witness and deliverance during their faithfulness in the fire. Everyone who witnessed or took part in the persecution was ultimately forced with the truth. The enemy lost power over these young men, and they had to acknowledge the power of God. King Nebuchadnezzar built a 90-foot tall gold image and demanded everyone worship, and with penalty of being burned alive in a furnace. Then came the accusation of individuals who were jealous of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego for refusing to worship the idol. They went to the king and forced him to follow his own decree, which enraged the king. Even though he gave them a second chance, they refused to worship the image, and they declared that they trusted in God whether or not he would save them. The fiery furnace represents trials we will go through in life. The accusations we will face when people point the finger, when they shift the blame, when they try to unravel our faith in God. The question is, how do we trust during hardship? Isaiah 43 reminds us, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. They will not overflow you. They will not consume you. You are protected in the fire. No matter how many struggles we have in life, financial hardships, health issues, or emotional crisis, God is offering us hope, even during that fire. We must stand and have faith, because we never know who's watching, and we never know what an impact our witness will have on them.